Hello everyone, welcome to the Ginger Snap Series Month of Horror-WEEN, Episode 2. Tonight, I will be talking to you guys about the 1931 film Dracula, starring Bela Lugosi. Of course, as everyone knows from the general horror community, that this is one of the most classic movies of all time. It, of course, was released in 1931. Of course, it's black and white, and a lot of the younger generations who still haven't really gone into the whole let's watch some black and white films don't understand that this is one of those films that is very important, especially around this time of the month or time of the year. Now, how much of a good impact is this movie in general, especially when it comes to the month of October? That's what I'll be talking to you guys about. So here's my review on Dracula. The movie is practically about a guy, Renfield, who is about to sell the castle of Dracula in Transylvania. Of course, it's just Rouge, and Dracula is actually trying to go to, I believe it was London, I can't quite remember, but yeah, he goes there to pretty much, be a fucking pimp, I guess, and, have more slaves to his ever-growing society. I mean, he has 3 wives that are also vampires. Of course, even the story's a little outlandish, but also at the same time, it's very memorable. You have to remember, the only closest thing we had to Dracula in a way was Nosferatu. Now, of course, that was a silent era film, and this was the first one to have the public image of what Dracula would look like, and subsequently sound like.
I am Dracula.
Oh, it's really good to see you. I don't know what happened to the driver and my luggage and with all this, I thought I was in the wrong place.
I bid you welcome.
Now, of course, Bela Lugosi, he was Hungarian. So, of course, he gave Dracula that voice. And that's why a lot of people do the whole blah, blah, blah. Even though Dracula never did say that. I don't know where that fucking came from. But I know Hotel Transylvania just rips that to shreds all the fucking time. The one thing that you definitely know for a fact, if you've never seen this movie, you are very much familiar with it. I mean, all the scenes that you've seen where it's like Dracula talking about, the werewolves, children of the night, or, Dracula leaning in to suck the blood of his counterpart, or even just the stare he had. It's one of the things that everyone growing up recognized, especially during the month of October, Halloween approaching, and even his costume. Like, everyone always dressed up like Dracula the same way Bela Lugosi had dressed. Overall, this movie does have this great aura of, beauty to it. I mean, even the song they use, Swan Lake. Now, when you think of the song Swan Lake, you think of 2 things. You think of the ballet dance routine of it and just ballet in general, or you think of Dracula. And it's perfectly fitting for that. And I know a lot of people can sit there and say, when it came to movies like that, who were pretty much established with sound, it's funny because it's not the first sound movie ever made, but it's definitely one of the ones that when you watch it in aspect, there's not much for sound. You obviously get the dialogue and all that kind of stuff, but there's barely any music in the movie at all. And that's definitely one of the things where back in the days, you gotta remember, they were just starting to put sound in film. And that's why it makes it kind of unique, just watching a movie with barely any music to it. Now, I know a lot of people do remember this movie for Dracula, but also Renfield. He's probably the one character that steals the show. I mean, he obviously starts out as this guy who's just going to the castle of Dracula, and of course he gets, brainwashed, and now he's under Dracula's control. But also, it's just how he acts. He's obsessed with eating bugs and mice and spiders and all this stuff. He's a complete fucking nutcase in the whole entire movie. But one of the biggest things he did to contribute to this whole entire movie was definitely his laugh. Actually, I do like the one point where I think he laughs and then causes a girl to faint. It's like, Your laugh was that scary? He definitely steals the show. As for all the other characters throughout the whole entire movie, what do you expect from them? I mean, like, there's the damsel in distress, there's the love interest of the damsel in distress. And other than that, I mean, like, even Dracula, like, also get Van Helsing in the movie. It's definitely one of the most unique things. It's like, oh, that's right, Van Helsing and Dracula have a rivalry. But this movie doesn't really showcase much of the rivalry. It just looks like it's the start of it. Like, Van Helsing is very smart when it came to figuring out all these things about vampires are being real, and then seeing clues like he has no reflection in the mirror, he doesn't like crosses, and like it's just like Dracula looks at him like, you caught on to me. Much respect, but he wants to fucking kill him. Other than that, like when it comes to all those characters, some are just like, what do you expect? But I can definitely count on one hand. Van Helsing, Dracula, and Renfield are the three characters that definitely steal the show in this very, very, very popular movie back in the day. For a rating for this movie, it's most likely going to have to get probably like a 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's one of those old ones. It doesn't feel as long. It's the establishment of like Universal with their famous Universal monsters. And I know that a lot of people say this movie was great, but what Universal followed up later in the same year, a lot of people seem to love the most and gets the most attention around this time, which I'll be talking about later. So for the people who have watched this movie, what did you guys think of it? Do you think it's definitely one of the classic landmark movies of the golden age of horror? And for the people who have not watched this, like I said, I would strongly recommend you do, especially around this time of October. And if you're really into black and white movies, it's definitely the one movie you want to start with. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and also subscribe for more spooky content. Other than that, this has been the Ginger Snaps Here's episode 2 of Month of Horror-WEEN. My name is Steven, and I will check you guys out in the next episode.